IT companies. Let's address the number of LTIMindtree as well. On first look, the numbers are muted versus street expectation. The revenue came in at 0.1% constant currency growth on a sequential basis. We were working with an expectation of at least 0.6% growth, so falling short on the top line itself. As far as the margin is concerned, it's at 16.7%. Our poll threw up a number of 16.8%. So largely in line to a bit of a muted number coming in as far as margins are concerned. And on the bottom line as well, it's looking a bit lower versus the street expectation because we were working with a number which was closer to 1200 crores. What the company has delivered is close to around 1150 crores, so a smidge under versus our expectation. The headcount has actually declined on a quarter-on-quarter basis to the tune of almost 2,000 people. It's now at 82,738 versus 84,546. So almost a 1,700-1,800 headcount decline. This is despite attrition coming down to 17.8% level. Though the deal win momentum is all right, it's not too bad because the deal wins this quarter is $1.4 billion. Last quarter, this number was $1.35 billion. So at least it's pretty much on similar levels or a bit of an improvement. The dollar revenue too came in at $1,058 million, a bit lower than our expectation. So overall, Mindtree goes as a bit of a miss to a largely in-line set of numbers. I'm not sure if the management has actually talked about their guidance. Usually they do that in the con call, but they had hinted at a double-digit growth. But now with this kind of earnings at just 0.1% growth, is that number really achievable? Let's ask that to Omkar Tanksale. He's joining us from Axis Securities. Omkar, do you think the company can still reach that double-digit growth FY24 despite just a paltry 0.1% growth in constant currency this quarter?
Hello, thank you for the opportunity. It's been very quite muted numbers from the LTIMindtree. We were expecting around 1% of the growth in CC terms for the quarter. But I believe this is quite below than our expectations in terms of revenue. So it's very difficult for the kind of macroeconomics scenarios are happening. There are spending delays happening around the North American region side, which shows a large weakness in BFSI and other sectors, predominantly BFSI. So that may impacting the revenue side, and that delay will also be likely to continue for the next quarter as well. So H2 might be quite a better than H1 as compared to as compared to the quarter ahead. So it's been very difficult for the company to achieve double-digit growth as in terms of the current scenario and macroeconomic scenarios are concerned.
Sure, Omkar, what do you make of the other internals in terms of the headcount reduction that has happened, the fact that the margin is at 16.7 and the deal wins coming at $1.4 billion?
Yeah, I mean, the deal wins for all IT companies, stood very, very strong. The conversion is making them very difficult currently in this scenario. Every IT companies, whether it is TCS, whether it is HCL Tech or whether it is LTI, they are going softer on the hiring side as they do not see aggressive spends from the North American and other exporting countries. So that might an impact of the slowdown on the ramping up the deals that they have won. Maybe the delay or maybe the delay has concerned them a lot, so they are not aggressive in terms of ramping up the deals in the current scenario. I mean, the TCS management are also indicated that there is a lack of visibility going ahead. Every client has been telling that there might be a month-to-month visibility. So that kind of a shorter visibility is currently the clients or the IT companies have in terms of the IT spend. So it might slowing down the pace of the ramping up the new deals that they have won. So and the employee or a headcount slip from the previous quarter may also indicates that LTIMindtree also looking softer in terms of ramping up the deals that they have won in the previous quarters or also in the current quarter as well. But after the scenario is getting clear and they are back on the side on the demand date, then there will be definitely a strong momentum going ahead.
For LTIMindtree, the headcount has been reducing for 3 to 4 straight quarters, so that now becomes a bit of a worrying sign. Quickly, Omkar, your take whether the company will be able to see that double-digit growth in FY24 or not, and do you think there will be a big change to analyst estimates come tomorrow morning?
Yeah, it might possible. I must go through and what management says, but I think it's very very difficult for in terms of the current scenario that for achieving the double digit growth in CC terms.
Quickly wanted to highlight that the BFSI segment has actually declined for LTIMindtree by 1.3%. That's the important part for LTIMindtree. However, the surprising part is that high tech and media and entertainment, which has been weak across the board, there the company has actually managed to report a growth of 3%. Ditto can be said for health as well, which is actually something which was weaker for others. For LTIMindtree, they've delivered a 4% growth on a quarter-on-quarter basis. Manufacturing, retail, where TCS, etc. were talking about a recovery, is again a bit of a decline. So a bit of a dichotomy as far as some of these IT companies are concerned. BFS are actually slowing down for them to the tune of around 1.3%. So just watching out for that. But for now, if you've joined us late, LTIMindtree numbers are out. A little lower than expectation on the top line and the bottom line. Margins they have managed to maintain. But overall, a bit of a muted set coming in and big questions being raised whether the company can deliver a double-digit growth in FY24 or not, given the fact that this quarter has been really flat, so the ask rate for H2 becomes high.